night she lies awake, thinking about the days when the sun did shine, thinking about the faces she left behind. Can't you feel it? Can't you feel it? Can't you feel it?
What's up, everybody? This is Lewis Beck. Oh, damn it, I just missed my cue. Welcome back to 343 TV. Really glad to see that there are a bunch of you in here. What's up, Enigmatic Onion? Welcome back. What's up, Roller 8, Pat Splat, and of course, Andrew Duke. As always, it seems, which we appreciate that support, man. Nefertiti, what's going on? Sorry for starting a little bit late. My microphone was suffering from performance anxiety. My microphone stand, and it wouldn't stand up straight, so had to fix that. And Mystic Moth, okay, the artist formerly known as Scott Vincent. That reminds me of that Key and Peele skit with the player formerly known as Mouse Cop. Anyway, welcome back. Good to see you guys. Patrizio, I don't think I've had the pleasure before, but nice to meet you. So, for those of you that are, wow, and Daniel Baptista, all right, I love that you guys are getting involved. This is making me feel super loved, getting to say what up to all of you. Let me know if the microphone levels are good and everything, because it's not fully on access, but I think I'm close enough, so it should be fine. And Morteza Tabibi, that's a fucking sick name. I like that. All right. Well, welcome to 343 TV. And if this is your first time here, we are a music production school that also has a online streaming channel. And that's what you're currently tuned into. And what we do, right, is we offer classes in Ableton, Logic, mixing, mastering, synthesis, vocal production, composition and arrangement, which is, of course, what we're going to be talking about today. Amongst other things, we have really cool like competitions going on with like beat battles and stuff. We have a great Discord server community that we've been building out. There's a lot of really cool, useful stuff on there. And so, you know, if this is your first time kind of interacting with the 343 ecosystem, welcome. And, you know, I'd highly encourage you just to hit the subscribe button at the bottom if you dig the content at the end of the day. And to, you know, try to get involved with the community. There's a lot of really, really amazing producers that are at all different levels, you know, and I think it's easy to find someone and a nice group of people that are, you know, having on the same journey as you, and maybe even at the same point. And, you know, I personally found that's always really, really useful to have that community, you know, to be able to grow with and learn with. So, yeah, what's up, Max Kerr? What's up, Lucas Moeller? This is great. I'm super pumped that we got so many people in here already. So without further ado, right, let's just jump right into it. So my name is Louis Beck, right? I'm an instructor at 343, and I live in New York City because we have location in New York City and Berlin. And what this program is designed to do, right? And so we have 343 TV every day of the week, pretty much, Monday through Saturday, I believe. Maybe there's like one day we don't have, but I'm not actually sure. I forget. And what this one is called, right, is Electronic Music Essentials. So basically what I'm doing is I'm focusing in on some sort of pretty broad topic every week and trying to give you guys just like getting straight to the point and giving you the most important information that you need to have about that, right? So we've talked about like kick and bass relationship in the past, you know, and all of these videos, by the way, and all these streams, if you've missed them, they are uploaded the next day, right? So you can go and rewatch the whole stream and, you know, learn and have, you know, see the experience. So yeah, we've talked about kick and bass. We've talked about rhythm and groove, you know, and so today what we're gonna be talking about is arrangement. And this kind of might seem like a really basic topic, but it actually is, I would argue, the most important part of music production. And so I'm going to talk about what arrangement actually means. And Simple Sam, tuning into this during my dinner. All right, well, I hope that I am a good dinner companion. I'm honored that you're allowing me to sit there with you. And Regine Seiler, what's going on? Welcome back. Good to hear from you. Anyway, so talking about arrangement, right? And so I'm going to be working in Ableton today. But real quick, before I jump into the program, I'm going to just talk a little bit about what arrangement means and why it's important. So, you know, give me 5 minutes to just kind of pontificate, or maybe even 2.5, and then we'll get into the, you know, really start producing. But essentially, there is a great documentary on Netflix called Quincy, and it's about Quincy Jones. For those of you that don't know who Quincy Jones is, he is the guy that produced Michael Jackson, and he really is the producer responsible for the mega success of Michael Jackson in terms of music, on a musical level, right? In terms of the records themselves. And little background on Quincy Jones: before he was the producer for Michael Jackson, he already had a really, really amazing career going, and his career actually started as an arranger for big jazz bands. And so at one point he was arranging for what was at that time in the world like the biggest jazz kind of group band in the world. And he subsequently went on to also arrange for Frank Sinatra. Now, when we're talking about what does arrange, like what do you mean by he arranged his music, right? He didn't write it, did he? No, he didn't write the music. But what he did is he took all the parts of the music, right? And again, remember, this is a point in time where there was sheet music, right? They didn't have computers. They were recording to tape. It was all real musicians. You had to orchestrate all that. So what his job was to do was to actually figure out at what part of the song which instrument should be playing and how they should be playing. And so he also could change little elements of rhythm and groove and timing and harmony and things like that. And so basically his job was to figure out what was the best way to present the story of the music, right, that was being told here, essentially. And so on the one hand, right, arrangement in a very simple way is just the manner in which you introduce different elements at different junctures across the song. But the other part of it is it's also how you actually intertwine things rhythmically and melodically. And so that element of it is actually much, much more important. And that's what I'm going to be talking about today, more than just like, okay, here's an 8-bar intro, and then you do a 8-bar build up, and then you go 16 bars of a drop, and then like, no, that's not really, that's not the part of arrangement that interests me and that I think is going to be helpful to you. I'll talk about that a little bit, but what I'm really going to be getting into is this idea of making complementary decisions in the rhythmic and harmonic and melodic department. And one thing that I hope you will see as a result of today is that one of the ultimate secrets to like a clean mix is a good arrangement, and I'll show you why that is. So let's just jump right in there. All right. So what I'm gonna do is I'm actually just gonna start with a bass line. And no, that's a lie. I'm going to start with a chord progression, actually. And I am going to do this in a, like, kind of house techno format. But I'm going to try to keep it funky and try to make it so that what you can learn can be applied to kind of any genre. And I believe that. Yeah, and by the way, what's up, TWD Industries? And, yeah, I guess our giveaway, we are, we do these cool giveaways. And it's for a free Arturia plugin. So just follow that link. Although TW Industries is saying apparently that link is for last week. So I don't know. Hopefully get that sorted out pretty quickly. And yeah, exactly. One cool thing about that documentary also is, as Regine mentioned, is that he was actually an unbelievable jazz player before he turned into a producer. So, the musicality and musical experience that Quincy Jones had really is what led to those Michael Jackson records being what they are, right? He really perfected and crystallized to a certain extent the modern pop record, and so it's really I think kind of a mandatory watch if you really want to consider yourself a contemporary musician. Anyway, so like I was saying, I'm going to start with some chords. All right. And so the first way I'm going to do this is I'm just going to write them as sustained chords, and then I'm probably going to turn them into chord stabs, because the thing that I want to really focus on is how to interweave rhythm as a concept within arrangement as you build out a song. So somebody throw me a note. Just name a note on the keyboard. Just drop it into the chat, and that's the note that I'll go on. First one to drop into the chat wins. While we're waiting, Lululemon, I think that topic is very important. This is the most comfortable thing I've ever worn in my life. My grandmother bought it for me. She sent it to me recently. I'm not really sure where it's from. It's actually a blanket. I just wear it like a scarf because it's so freaking comfortable. At the end of the stream, if you remind me, I'll look. I'm too comfy in my nook right now. Okay, Enigmatic Onion, D, double D. We got, wow, Enigmatic Onion and Avon Barkstad, which is the coolest name ever. I hope I pronounced that correctly. Are on the same wave, so we're gonna go with D. So I'm just gonna make some music in the key of D. Let's try to go for a 5-bar situation. Or sorry, 4-bar situation. All right, turn this down a little bit. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to work in one of my favorite key signatures, which is going to be D Dorian, which is basically just the D minor scale, but on the 6th note of the scale, you raise it a half step. So what that allows you to do is play 2 minor 7th chords in a row, or 2 minor chords in a row in the key, instead of having to play a minor and then a diminished. So all that it does is it brings more euphonious information closer together. Holy fuck, that's loud. I dig that. That's fun. That's the mood that I'm in right now. So it's all just minor sevenths. That's cool. So what I'm going to do is turn this into a more of a rhythmic thing. Excuse me. Cool. So this is going to be our groove, right? So my arrangement, what I'm going to be focusing on is how I actually start making decisions about adding things based on what this is doing harmonically, rhythmically, and such. And we're going to build out a song from that perspective. And what I'm hoping is that we'll have enough time for me to actually really like get pretty far along in a production, just so you guys can see like how I approach this. So I'm just gonna design the sound a little bit more. Cool. Here's like a little bit. Yeah, I dig that. So I'm gonna do is I'm gonna throw it to a little bit of delay. I'm loving that so much. So I'm also going to use a UAD plugin. And I'm going to explain to you like why. This is how I produce, by the way. So what I actually do is I don't use a lot of in-the-box stuff. I do this externally, but I'm kind of applying the exact same workflow. And what my workflow is I try to get the sound that I choose as close to the final sound of the mix as it's going to be. Whew, that feels good. Super warm and colorful. All right, cool. So that's, by the way, the best digital reverb that exists, in my opinion, is the Universal Audio Capital Chambers. Yes. So Simple Salmon is, the name of it is just literally called Quincy, the documentary, and it's on Netflix, or I believe. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna write a bass line. And I already have it in my brain. So I wanna give you guys an insight into how I make music and what my creative flow looks like. So I'm gonna hum the bass line, and then I'm gonna try to make it. Boom, boom, ba doo doo doo, boom doo doo, ba doo ba doo doo doo, boom boom boom, boom ba doo doo doo, boom boom boom, boom ba doo doo doo, boom boom boom, boom ba doo doo, boom boom boom, boom ba doo doo doo, boom boom boom. So that's what I'm gonna go for. So I know that there's a pickup there, pickup note that's going boom boom boom. That's my downbeat. Boom boom ba doo doo doo. So that's the first thing I'm gonna do. So I'm just gonna do boom boom ba doo doo doo. So my first note's D. Oh boy. So let's roll that off. There's a lot of release on it, which I like. So it's kind of sustaining, but like not really sustaining. Yo, I would record my voice, but that would require me plugging things in and getting out of my seat in this super comfy scarf. So I actually would normally do that. I love recording my voice and using it as a bass. It's like super sick. Alright, so the release time is a little bit long. It's a little bit gratuitous. Boom, boom, ba doo doo doo. Boom, boom, boom. So one thing to bear in mind, right? First, just basic principle of arrangement to a certain extent is like my bass line that I'm going to play. And this is like on the one hand a music theory thing, but it's also, I view this as an arrangement thing, is like I'm playing notes that are found in this chord in the bass line, right? So I'm playing D and F. Now G is the fourth in here, so that I know that that's probably going to sound pretty good. Boom. So let's see. I usually got to do this with the metronome on. Boom, boom, ba doo doo doo. Oh, I have a 30-second notes. No wonder my life's so difficult. And so I'm just going to use the same rhythmic motif here, right? Boom, boom, ba-doo-doo-doo, boom, ba-doo-doo-doo. Right? And so I'm going to let the chords guide me in terms of my bass line. Down to C. Boom, ba-doo-doo-doo. So boom, ba-doo-doo. guess it already has a little bit of a swing because I got this thing going on. Huh. Let's check that out. That's funny. Let's see what happens if I shift this over. Oh, that feels good. Maybe if we go to 64th note for this one, just swing it a little bit more. So I really hate using the groove pool personally. I just like rather draw in the swing myself or play it in really. There we go. So that's the right swing feel that I'm looking for. Boom, ba-doo-doo-doo. Boom, boom. Boom, ba-doo-doo-doo. So I do a lot of when I'm like, even when I'm just playing, like with my guitar or something, right? I really try to like be super like find the rhythm, you know, like do whatever you need to do to make yourself be able to express it, you know. Use the tools at hand. Turn on the metronome in there. So, you know, I go like boom, 2, 3, boom, ba-doo-doo, boom. Okay, so I know where the downbeats are, you know. So another thing that I do a lot of is like first I have a very specific way that I like to produce if I'm not playing something live, right? If I'm playing something live, like on a guitar or on a keyboard or something, makes this part a little bit easier. But I first just get the order of the notes if I'm dragging it in, like get the right sort of like just like everything locked into the rhythmic moment where it's supposed to land, and then what I do is I worry about the expression of it. Like, is this note too long? Is this note too long? Right? And then I kind of like fine tune it. So I'm a big believer of like work big to small. So I want to make this bass way more harmonic. I'm curious to see what would happen if I go like this. I like that. I like shifting. I like jumping between octaves in a bass line. That always feels nice. There we go. All right. I'm gonna make glide. Yes, I like that bass to be out wide. So I know that like this this swing is off, so I might have to jump into the groove pool. So I'm thinking is I'm just gonna like take all of these, just quantize them to here so that I can just go into the groove pool and solve this issue real fast. Yeah, they are a little bit off, so that's what I'm gonna be fixing right now. Oh, that actually sounds good. Yeah, exactly. Like I play a lot of rhythm guitar, so like I'm always trying to, yeah. I think that little shift does help. I'm hearing a break beat. Ooh, I forgot that we took those notes and lowered them. Oh, that sounds fucking sick. So here's my first arrangement thing that I'm gonna do, okay? Oh, what's up, John Kingston III? Welcome. So first arrangement thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go, hey, you know what? I can take this bass line and separate it into two instruments, right? I could take these deep notes and have them do one thing instrumentally, and have these little expressive part do something else. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead, and I don't want to ever abandon things. I don't like abandoning things, but I'm gonna mute these, and in this part I'm gonna mute these. And now I'm gonna figure out what's the best way to express the low notes versus the best way to express the high notes. So I'm gonna just call this deep sub. And I'm just gonna call this, high bass. And then I'll call these chords because that's what they are. Now, I personally always organize my projects in the same way. I literally organize my projects from low to high in terms of sonic frequency. All right, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to just slightly alter the instrumentation on this part. That part's off, I guess. Color them differently so I know what they are. So for me, bass is always red. That's just how I produce. So I actually try to always pick the same colors for each song so that I can tell. Actually, deeper bass is gonna be deeper red. So I just intuitively remember and jump to it. That's just me. Like, everyone does their own thing, But for me, I like to just make it as fast and easy for myself as possible. So like, I see chords as this color usually. I'm going to take the unison off here. Or maybe I'll keep it on, but I'll give it a different one. I don't like that. There we go. So I'm setting it to that reverb now. Thank you, Max Kerr. Glad you're digging the vibes, man. Maybe I'll turn off the unison. So what I'm doing here is when I'm messing with the unison is I'm actually trying to take this bass, the deeper. Take the deeper bass. Oh right, that's why I moved that. Never mind. Take the deeper bass and I'm gonna extend this a little bit. Let's see. Yeah, let me know if that is an issue. Yeah. Oh, we're gonna get the kick in. Don't worry. So anyway, what I'm doing is, as a part of arrangement, I think at this point also, as a producer, right? Because we're not only musicians at this point. So like when Quincy Jones is arranging, right? He's arranging in terms of like, okay, the strings will start and then the timpani is going to roll up a little bit and then like the bass is going to start doing that thing and the strings will fall off or start playing this, right? And so we still have to do all that. But one thing I like to do is also part of your arrangement is also how you actually manipulate the stereo field, right? And so what I'm doing is I'm trying to make this deep bass just be a little bit more center. I still like it having a wide feeling, but I'm trying to make it a little more center than the high bass, so it feels like there's actually a conversation happening. All right, so let's listen to that. So, right, so there's already organic motion in my track, right? So a lot of people are like, oh, I need to put on auto pan to create motion. No, you don't. You just need to create a conversation between instruments that are rhythmically related that are in different places spatially in the mix. Yeah, I mean, we definitely might go over time, so let's see. So I'm hearing a breakbeat. I'm hearing. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start with a snare. That's like a pretty good break snare. That's weird. I like that one too. By the way, a timpani is just like it's a type of percussion. So I like, all right, I don't use samples almost ever. I'm not sure how much you can see of my studio, but I'm like a farm to table producer. I like making everything myself from scratch. Because that way I get the most amount of control over it. I can make it sound as unique as possible. I can do something that you can't replicate as easily, right? That being said, when I'm not doing it that way and I am using samples, people are jumping all through Splice trying to find the craziest shit there is. When it comes to percussion specifically and drum sounds, you're a fool if you use Ableton and you have not downloaded all of their free content that you get that comes with the suite or whatever, like the full version. I honestly think that all of these samples, you don't need anything more than these samples, generally speaking. Like, sure, here and there maybe, but there's a lot of really, really good basic, but interesting sounds in Ableton. And so I really, really recommend, before you go splurge on Splice because you saw on YouTube that the only way you can become a successful producer is if you buy a shit ton of sample packs. That's just like a lie. So, I would highly recommend exploring all of your kind of, what would you call it, default options, so to speak. Yeah. So here we go. So that has a cool tonality on it. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna gate it because the release is. So this is okay. There's another thing, right? Another arrangement thing. This release time is too long on the snare. So like, let's listen to that. Forget about the tonality for a second. They sound very different, but listen to the difference between like the. Sorry. Sorry. So. Sorry. Okay, and I am back. Sorry about that. So, as I was saying, what I want you to listen to is listen to how different the feeling of the groove is with the longer snare versus the tighter snare. So the tight snare. Right, we want this beat to really jump off there. That's lasting longer, right? So what I'm looking for is tight sound. Jesus. Okay, mark is red, whatever. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to throw on this plugin. And now, you know, a lot of times I'm trying to produce in a way that is accessible to you guys, so I don't want to use like tons of fancy plugins. But I think it's also good sometimes for you guys to see like what I actually use on a daily basis, like what I do. I use this plugin, specifically the gate from Slate, always. It's the sickest gate in the business. It's so good. It's just, you can get so, like, listen to that. Ugh. No bleed, no nothing. Still get the punch of the transient, so that's good. And then I'm going to saturate it. I want to make it crunchy. So I'm going to hit it with one of their tube saturators. I'm going to roll off some of that low. So the way I'm envisioning this is going to be the front of my snare sound. And the other sound is going to be the back of my snare sound. Now I also want to make this really crunchy. And I find the high end very offensive. I don't like that on there. That's super fake sounding. That's not what a good recording sounds like. So I'm also gonna add a little bit really quickly of some, probably some parallel compression to just give it some knock. Well, parallel compression. I'm doing it directly on the channel. There we go. All right, so I'm trying to get that fast release so it recovers, gets the transient through. Ooh, that's nice. That's really nice. That's super sharp. So this is one of the, in my opinion, this is one of the most realistic compressors, emulations that exist digitally. Yeah, transient shaper and saturation is, you can't go wrong with that. So I'm just gonna mix in that sound. Without it, Now what I'm getting is it's actually one thing that a fast release time will do. This is useful just to know. If you put a compressor on after something that has reverb in the recording, such as this snare, a fast release time with a lot of compression is going to accentuate the reverb. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put on a gate after it to kill the tail. I don't even have to really adjust it. Great. And then I'm going to hit it really hard. Again, with some compression. I'm sorry, with some saturation. Boom, now we sound realistic. There we go. That's a nice kind of UK garagey type of sound, which I'm digging. So I'm gonna go ahead and, yeah. By the way, like I can't recommend the Slate stuff high enough. I know some people have mixed feelings about it, but like I use it constantly. I think it's some of the best stuff on the market. Like, does it sound exactly like analog gear? No, but like, does it sound awesome for what it is? Absolutely. Like, you'd be crazy not to want to own these plugins. And it's like $14.99 a month, which, I mean, to buy them all, it's like well over $2,000. So, I mean, do the math. It's going to take you like tons and tons of time to get to that level. So I think it's worth it. Ooh. Both of these. Okay, so when I'm not making my own sounds from scratch, I'm definitely layering samples. And I'm listening to like, okay, what exists in each sample that I want to use? You know, so I know I want that sound, right? So I'm specifically choosing a kick drum. Jesus, that has that feeling. Now it's too long, right? So I don't have to use a gate on this. I can just do that. So let me first, before I incorporate these other two layers, I honestly might not need them. That's sounding pretty good. So I'm going to kind of choose like a placeholder sample real quick just to give myself a little bit more feeling of the groove, so I can like actually create something here that I want to do. Sometimes I struggle to make a breakbeat just like only doing the kicks first. There we go. There. I think it's going to be this action. Yeah, very cool. There we go. So I'm going to keep that hi-hat there. I'm not going to use it. I don't like that hi-hat whatsoever. But I am going to keep it there. All right. Oh. Let's get rid of that. Oh, that's what, so I want it right there. see. I think this is what I'm going for. Yeah. All right, we're getting very close to what I want now. Manifestation. Put this out here, shorten this, put it right there. Let's see how this goes. Yep, that's what I want. 1, 2, 3, 4. Right? But so I'm gonna have to create those ghost notes in a sec. Yeah, so that sounds super fake, right? So I'm gonna go ahead and do is drop those kicks by like 4.5 dBs. That's an arbitrary number. It just seems like a good guess right now. I'm not gonna make them exact because I want it to feel human. Yeah, so that final ghost note, actually, I'm gonna drop way more. So it's barely there. Yeah, just so you barely notice it. Yeah, sick. All right, so now I'm gonna choose a replacement note for that. Oh, excuse me. Choose a replacement note. Jeez, microphone's going rogue. Let me know if you guys can still hear me good. I can adjust this if not. It seems like the stand is getting a little bit droopy on me. Damn, okay, hold on. Excuse me, we're having some technical difficulties. I think this should solve the problem. Just let me know. Nope, still drifting. Man, microphone stands are like the least sexy but most necessary purchase when you're using microphones. Yeah, so just let me know if this becomes an issue. I think that should be cool, but it might be an issue. Yeah, so just I think that'll be better. All right, just tell me. I'll check the comp. It's drooping again. God damn it, man. I have another one back there, but I use it. I have it like preset up for guitar recording, so it becomes a whole thing if I want to bring it out. Let's try this. Technical difficulties abound. There's no such thing as an easy thing, right? All right, cool. So I'm going to find like a rim snare. That kind of sound. I'm thinking just like a 707. Yeah, that's like perfect. That's exactly what I want. So I'm just going to not highlight everything and drag this on. Yeah, I might have a gaming headset next week. That'd be, oh my god, that would be like, that would be elevation, wouldn't it? I don't know, dude. I hate those things. I hate having stuff on my face that I don't need to have. All right. So let's see if this rim snare does the job of the hat, but better. We're getting closer. So what I might actually do is tune it down. Yeah, so I'm going to go. So again, this is an arrangement thing to make life a little bit. I love that idea, Regine. I just got to find a Miles. I don't know that I have Miles Davis samples saved on here. I have them in my sampler that I like recorded. So I'm going oh ah. Right, so listen to that. I'm pitching one down and keeping one normal. So I'm just gonna go oh ah. That adds more rhythm, more bounce to it, you know. Maybe I'll go the other way around. So go like this. I always play with these kind of things of like, okay, should I tune this up or tune this down? Like, which order? Let's try this. So I don't need to have that there because it overlaps with the snare, right? So there's a arrangement thing, right? There's like the first instance of what I'm talking about with mixing is like, I don't need to have this there if the snare is covering that rhythmically. And then I don't have to worry about like getting that out of the way of the other thing, right? Like, because it's not in the way anymore. So I don't have to be like, oh shit, I have to EQ the rim to get out of the way of the snare. Well, they shouldn't be playing at the same time if they're on the same note. They're basically identical, right? My eyes are not fooling me, are they? Let's see. I'm really bad at spelling. Oh, I can't believe Ableton doesn't have a tambourine loop. That's kind of mind-blowing. So, well, I have Miles Davis on vinyl, just not. I haven't digitized it. Okay, samples. Let me go find some. Go find some loops. Tambourine. I'm just looking for something a little bit less downbeaty. Yeah, that's closer. I hate the sound. That's the right rhythm. Let's try that. That's kind of jungly. When I say jungle, I mean like the genre jungle, not like again. Yes, this is one of the secrets to making this kind of breakbeat style. Is just like shove a tambourine in the background. I might go and grab this other one. Yeah, that's cool. So I'm going to go ahead and combine these. Is that a loop? No, whatever. I feel like that didn't drag in properly. There's no way that... Really? That's what that is? Oh, okay. fine. I accept defeat. Let's see. That sounds good. So the one that I just added has a little moment where it's like off slightly. Right there. That's the spot. So I need to shift that over. I'm going to go for 808 hi-hat now. I'm going to subtly blend that in. Yeah, I like that one a little bit more. I'm going to subtly blend this in. And the reason I'm choosing this one is because I'm choosing it to offset the tambourine samples, right? Their tonality. Tam 1, Tam 2. So, like, these are very bright and harsh. I mean, not harsh, but they are a little bit, to be fair. Very bright. So that one's also pretty bright, but less bright than that one. Different type of bright. 6 of one, half a dozen of the other. But I'm going to go with this one so I don't look like an idiot. Let's see if this is the right spot. Yep, so I'm just going to put this on the, in that little 8th note slot that all dance music abuses. But hey, I love 8th notes. So I'm doing something super subtle, right? I don't want it to be too noticeable. So I'm also going to put it right here. So it overlaps with the rim. And so what that does is, in that moment, again, this is an arrangement trick. Even though it's production, this is actually an arrangement trick. So what I'm doing is I'm subtly drawing attention, a little bit more attention to that moment in the groove by overlapping it with another note that is already there, right? So this is just going to reinforce the presence of that rim. And so I'm not going to actually adjust. If it was only this hi-hat and the rim wasn't there, then I would maybe adjust the what do you call it? Velocity. But I don't have to because there's already going to be a difference. Right? So like it kind of distracts from the fact that the hi-hat is there. But you can hear it. Right? That's without the hi-hat. It just kind of makes that rhythm snare cuts more. So again, this is an arrangement trick that benefits my mix. That makes me not have to mix as hard, right? If you produce your musical idea well, you don't really have to mix it as much. The mixing is easy. Now, I want to make this more a little bit modern. So I want to give it a big old kick underneath it. Now, obviously, that's way too long of a release time for this groove. It's going to fuck things up. But what I can do is just, good old-fashioned fade. So I'm not actually convinced that I'm going to do this on every single kick drum. I only might do it on emphasis points. So I'm just going to experiment and see what this sounds like if I do this. So I'm just going to combine it with this kick and just check it out real quick. Right? So now I'm going doom, 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 doom. Right? All around the mix, right? I'm making the groove more alive. You know? So like a real drummer, when you're a real musician, right, is going to not play every note identically. There's going to be little bits of dip and dive and flux, right? So you want to imitate that. Okay, so I don't think on the snares, though. We don't need it on the snare. So, you know, and the cool thing is that since we leave all this space here at the end, it feels really good when it comes back in. And I want to go boo-doo-doo-doo. Right? Boo-doo-doo-doo. All right, ghost note right there. All right, so I'm hearing a moment to add a little bit more subtlety to the groove. Right here, ba-doom. Maybe I'm going to take this kick now and put it right there. Yeah, I think so. So I'm going to slip it right in this little slot and make it really quiet so we barely notice it. Woo, there it is. See how we miss it that second time? Man, this is what it's all about. These little subtleties. Yeah, so let's see. I'm going to also put one right here. So it goes buka right there, right? I actually might put one right here too. I might go buck wild with this kick sample on Ghost Notes. Yeah, 100%. This is the scene. This is the way. If any of you guys watch The Mandalorian, which is a very average show, but enjoyable. Yeah, I will in a sec. Okay, so TW Industries, this is a great question. So what is a ghost note? All right, so a ghost note is basically, it comes from drumming, or just really any form of rhythm playing. And so a ghost note is a note that you don't notice is there, but aids to the feeling of the groove. So let's listen to like what's happening with these three kicks. Right? So this note is like barely noticeable, but it adds a lot to the feeling, right? So without it there, and especially once everything's in, it really takes so here, I'm going to take it out. Right? It makes it swing more. Like, I might even put it right here. Excuse me. Like, it's all these little moments. I can keep turning it down more and more, so you barely even really hear it. Right, so let's listen to in the beat. Listen to what happens when I take this out. It's super subtle. It's like you're barely going to notice it. So we'll call this like acoustic kick, or just maybe just like kick drum, and then like big kick. I don't know. I'm going to call it an under kick, which makes no sense, but that makes sense to my brain. So I think it's melody time, you know, right? Definitely time to add some melodic components to this. All right, so let's make sure that we actually duplicate everything over. Except for this hi-hat, 'cause we don't need it. Now, I'm willing to bet that there's some really cool, like cymbal loop hiding in Ableton somewhere. Or like ride. Okay, maybe I'm wrong about this. Let's go and check in the packs area loops. Really? That's super disappointing. Wow. I would have thought there'd be some cool drum ride. Huh. All right. I like that one, so I'm going to throw this on the ride. Very, very basic. But I think this is going to add a lot. See if that does anything. Yeah, I might layer in the 707 ride. I happen to really like 707 rides. And I might do something cool with the production on this one, where I might actually now put a pan situation on it. Let's see real quick. That went drastically wrong. Command D to infinity and beyond. I know I could just duplicate it more, but this is so fun, isn't it? Okay. And I'm gonna take an auto pan. That's cool, potentially disorienting, but let's find out. That really low stuff out, maybe. All right, cool. So we have a lot there now. So if I was going to start adding more, like what I'm hearing is that made my eyes throb slightly. I don't know what that means, but I'm into the idea of that being a positive thing. So here, let me just do a little bit of this action, reorganize. So I mix, like I said, bottom up. So for me, like the drums are the bottom of the mix, the foundation, always. Something strange has just occurred. Oh, yeah, okay. Yeah, the guitar live lead could be cool, but making me nauseous. Oh my God! Wow, I really hope that this beat isn't making you nauseous. So definitely go take some motion sickness. If so, all right. So what I'm gonna do is take this bass MIDI. I remember I saved all this information. And I'm going to actually make a lead that's like literally just the bass MIDI, just the bass line, but higher up. I'm gonna see if I can make that into something cool. Definitely guitar would sound lovely on this, but I'm lazy. I don't want to plug it in. It's the facts of life. I think analog might sound nice on this for what I'm going for. Kind of want like a Mogi style lead. sounds pretty nice. That's kind of exactly what I was going for, actually. All right. We'll call that just like Moog lead. I'm gonna try to make that like more crystally sounding, a little bit like crazy. So I'm gonna see what plugin I could throw on here to really get this gelling. I must have done something. Why is it not locking? Okay, there we go. So I'm going to take this plugin from Sound Toys called, what plugin am I taking? Crystallizer. That's pretty full. That's pretty full arrangement at this point. Production. Now, the way that I'm hearing this is I want separate control. How about some glide on that lead? That's not a bad idea. I'm gonna see if I can get that to happen. So I want control over that weird all that weird crap. So I'm going to put it on as return. I want that to be basically a separate layer. So I'm going to put on the return track. I'm going to turn my wetness all the way to 100 because that's what you got to do. And then I'm going to go like that. Let's see what happens. Now I'm going to put on one of my favorite plugins for spatial fuckery, to put it bluntly, and it's gonna be the Diatronics Cyclosonic Panner, which is like a model of some crazy 80s pan module. Yeah, there we go. That's fun. Now, I might also, to make it sparkle more, throw on the Enigma from Waves, which is a super fun phaser. Yeah, that sounded cool. That's a little loud, that lead. Hey, let's try to add some of that slide, some of that glide. I'm glad that it sounds good on those headphones because it sounds killer on these speakers, and they sound really good. Glide. Let's see. You know, I think if I was using the actual Moog Senior Avon, that I would use the Glide, but I don't know. The Glide is really finicky on this Ableton garbage synth. Well, that's mean. It's not a garbage synth. You're a nice synth, but you know, it has drawbacks. I still want to make that seem older and shittier, though. It's probably a weird thing to think. So I'll probably say the Slate vibe again. Ooh, I know what I'll do. I was going to jam it through this tape emulation. And then, yeah, let's just like... Lately, I've honestly been very anti-UAD in mixing because it's so damn colored. But I think it'll work in this case. Two times I throw it to the delay. So I'm really just trying to hit it with as much juice as possible in terms of giving it saturation, because it's Ableton synth with not a lot of color. Now that has vibe. That has a lot of vibe. Oh my god. Sorry. I don't know how to explain what that call is. Just some stuff. I have to tell someone to stop calling me. Sorry about that, guys. Okay, anyway, so I'm going to put this out wide, or at least partially wide, because it's clogging up the middle where there's a lot of percussive stuff. So don't know if I'm feeling that. I think I'm going to put on just a standard Haas effect. Now, the Haas effect is where you take a delay, turn it into time mode, unlink them, and you're just going to take one side and delay a little bit more than the other, and it makes it wide. Right now, so now it's out wide. Center, wide. So that's called the Haas effect. Okay, cool. So now we're actually at the point where we can quickly start arranging this. So I'm just going to push it on down, right? But so let's just talk about real quick, right? Like what I have actually done here before I start putting it into order, right? So just to review. So we started with the chords, right? So the bass line and the chords are playing together, right? Cool. And so then we built the percussion groove around it, right? And so again, like what we were trying to do the whole time is basically make it so that every choice that we're making in the production, right, is servicing other parts of the production, right? So nothing should be getting in the way of other things or clashing too much. Like this is basically like mixed. Sure, there's like, you know, little bits of things we could weave here and there, but like this sounds great. Right, and that's because all the decisions that I'm making, this is an arrangement thing, right? It's literally the arrangement. It's not only the order that you put things, but how you actually fit the sounds together, right? Choosing a sound that is like, and for instance, coming back to the Quincy Jones thing, right? It's like maybe whoever wrote the music is like, oh, let's put violins in this part. It's like, no, let's not, because there are trumpets playing, which are bright like that. So maybe let's put cellos, you know, or like an actual bass with a string with a bow or something or whatever it is, you know. So like the whole idea is to structure kind of tonally. You want like the tone. How do I say this? Like tonally, your music should also kind of respect what's happening melodically, right? Like what are usually things that are higher are leads, but if they're not, right, then they need to be kind of more muted so that the lower things which have high frequencies in them can cut through, right? And so that's what's happening with the chords, right? Is they're actually rounded off quite a bit. But right, so the roundness of the chords is not interfering with the high bass stuff. Right, with the actual high frequencies of the bass. Anyway, so let's just start trying to arrange this. So I'm going to go ahead and take all these drums and, backload them. So I'm just going to delete the kick. I probably don't need it for the first 17 bars. I'm thinking I probably just only need the chords initially. Maybe I'll have the snare come in a little bit. Definitely don't need the tambourines immediately. So I'm just going to backload everything that I think I might need, but not immediately, to like bar 9. This is usually how I produce, is if I don't know what the arrangement is, if I haven't written the song in advance and I'm just kind of creating stuff on the spot, then what I do is, right, is I just kind of move things ahead. So I know I don't need the lead at all initially, right? I'm thinking I'm probably going to use the bass under part first. So let's see what happens if I do this. So this is great. This is like one of those happy accidents. I did not mean for those things to be there, but I think they'll be cool to actually come in like right away. So. Okay, so before everything comes steaming out of nowhere, I know that I don't need that right now, and I don't need these two probably right there. So I'm not gonna have this bass come in right there. I'm definitely not gonna have these rides because that's gonna add tons of energy. So I'm gonna just say, okay, I don't need you until like bar 33 probably at least. I don't think I need the tambourines just yet. Let's see actually. Yeah, that's nice. Let's try this. Cool. All right, cool. So what I'm going to do is mute these and see what happens if I actually just only bring in this lead part. Next. Right, with just the notes that are sustained. Right, just because I've chosen to do this at other times doesn't mean I have to do it there. I'm also thinking I don't actually need it for these parts either. actually, what I'm also thinking is maybe I can save these hi-hats, which are really subtle, but add propulsion for this part to make it pick up more. Now the story can start adding these guys. So let me just hear it from the beginning again. Damn, I forgot to turn these things on. So then I'm gonna definitely drop everything out. I can take out the boom-ba-doo-doo-doo. Thank you, Nefertiti. So what I might do now is I might actually remove one of these. It's tambourines, right? Have it come back in. So now, one thing that's happening, right, is like what's dictating the main vibe here, okay? The main vibe of this track is the chords. All right, so if I take them out, we lose the emotional lightness of it. So I need to somehow manipulate these chords to make them interesting and dynamic. So a really easy and boring way to do this, I don't want to say boring, but just like a very easy way to go about doing this is to automate. Man, what is going on? Did I miss? What did I turn off by accident? Hold on, let's. Oh, that's probably what's going on. So I'm gonna have to finish up in a couple minutes, but What I'm going to do is going to automate the cutoff. It's building energy. Maybe automate the release. Probably pull out the kick drum. Maybe I'll just sustain that one. Yeah, so I'm gonna take out the little hi-hat just like right there, so we really have a deceleration energy, right? So the biggest thing, the biggest struggle, right, is to, especially in like electronic music and synthetic music, is to how do you manipulate energy, right? So you have to be constantly changing things. So adjusting, the cutoff to open up, even just in this one moment, right? Like changing this one chord to sustain, taking out the kick drum, like adding these right here. So we have this very organic swelling moment, right, that occurs. So also, like, let's make a transition, right? I have tons of snares, or not tons of snares, but I have a snare situation. So, like, let me do this. Just do 1, 2, 3, 4. Right? Now I might do, so I might add a little bit of a snare in right here. Right, so I can't make these decisions super far in advance. I don't actually know what I'm going to do. So that's why I just kind of like make the whole loop and then I build out of it. So this is like, I hope you're also learning a little bit about how you can like build out of a loop. Now what I'm going to also do is, I'm feeling inspired, is I'm going to take both of these snares, go like this, and now reverse them. I have no idea if that's going to sound cool, but I think it will. All right, I might have to actually turn off the gate on both the snares to get the reverse to happen. Yeah, that's definitely what's going to happen. So I need to go into my virtual mix rack. Yep, and just turn the gate off for that moment. Same thing. This is my favorite thing about Ableton. It's just when you touch something, it just automatically gets, you can just automate it. I think that's the dopest thing. Boom, see, so now we have the that cool little moment. Let's see how it sounds. Probably gonna be way too loud, so I'm probably need to automate it a little. That's pretty cool. And so now what I'm thinking is in terms of arrangement, in terms of my mix, right? When I go like this, the wide stuff comes back. So watch what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna do a cool little trick. In this moment, I'm gonna take my reverse snare and pan them in opposite directions. That's cool. That's fun. So then I would put on a gain utility. And I'm going to just probably make them like 3 decibels quieter each or so. They're a little loud. You're welcome, Mystic Moth, a.k.a. Scott Vincent. I remember. Anyway, so you can see where this is going. You get the idea. And yeah, no problem, Regine. I honestly love doing these streams because a lot of you guys tune in and it makes me feel good about it, and like we're really spreading good information. And B, as you can see, I love making music, and it's just like cool to be able to teach you guys things that you might not be able to pick up every single day. So that is going to be where I draw to a close. I did go an hour over, but that's what I like to do sometimes, is just give you guys as much time as possible. Again, I am Lewis Beck, and this is 343 TV. So thank you for everyone who tuned in. I know a few people had to jump at this point, but for those of you that stuck around, really, really appreciate it. And if you're not subscribed already, I hope that you, feel comfortable subscribing and feel like there's going to be, great content on here, because it's not only me that's streaming. We have amazing instructors who have tons and tons of experience streaming, all through the week. So yeah, just, keep coming back. And remember that we're giving away a free Arturia plugin this week. So make sure to, tune in for that giveaway later in the week. And yeah, I'll see you next time. Thanks everyone for joining.